Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today our topic is culture and socialization. First we discuss culture. White represent his definition of culture is that culture is a symbolic, cumulative and progressive process. Next, John Beat. Culture is a way of life which is transmitted from generation to generation. Now I will discuss the characteristic of culture. First is culture is shared. People living together in a society share culture. For example, almost all people in the Philippines share the Philippine language, dress in similar style, eat many of the same food and celebrate many of the same holidays. Next characteristic of culture is learned. People are not born with culture, they have to learn it. In all human societies, children learn culture from adult. Anthropologists call this process enculturation or culture transmission. Third characteristic of culture is social concept. Culture is not an individual concept, but on the other hand, it is the social concept. It does not relate to individual behavior but concern group. Next characteristic of culture is symbolic. People have primarily because they can communicate with and understand symbol allow people to develop complex thought and to exchange those thoughts with other language and other form of symbolic communication enable people to create, explain and record new ideas and information. Next characteristic of culture is cumulative. Each culture has worked out solution to the basic problem of life, which it then passes on to its children. Next characteristic of culture is dynamic. No culture is ever in a permanent state. It is constantly changing because new ideas and new techniques are added, and old ways are constantly modified and discarded. Next characteristic of culture is ideal ideational मतलब ideal. Culture is an ideal pattern of behavior which the members are expected to follow. And the last characteristic of culture is socially transmitted through language. It is transmitted from one generation to another through the medium of language, verbal or non-verbal, through the gesture or sign, orally or in written. Now I will discuss the types of culture. There are 4 types of culture: material culture, non-material culture, real culture, and ideal culture. So first type of culture is material culture. Man-made object which may be experienced with senses. For example, pen, table, bed, chair, etc. It is concerned with external, concrete, mechanical, and utilitarian object. Next type is non-material culture. It includes the concept, values, and ideas. It has abstract nature and spiritual nature. One moral, custom, folkway, values, emotions, internal social control, etc. All are the example of non-material culture. The third type of culture is ideal culture. Culture which consists of values, norm and belief that a society come to follow is called ideal culture. It is the goal of society and never achieved fully because some parts remain out of practice. This culture is explained in book, speech, etc. The last type of culture is real culture. Real culture is the culture existing or presenting culture of society. This culture is followed by people. For example, if a person says he is Muslim, will be when followed all the principle of Islam is the real, and when does not follow is not real one. Now I will introduce the elements of culture. There are 7 elements which are given below: social organization, custom and tradition, language, art and literature, religion, government, economic system. So first is social organization. Create social structure by organizing its member into small units to meet basic need. Family pattern. Family is the most important unit of social organization. Through the family, children learn how they are expected to act and what to believe. Next element is custom and tradition. Rules of behavior are enforced. Ideas of right and wrong. They can be custom, tradition, rules, or written laws. Third element is language. Language is the cornerstone of culture. All cultures have a spoken language, even if there are no developed form of writing. People who speak the same language often share the same culture. Art and literature, they are the product of human imagination. They help us pass on the culture's basic belief. Example: art, music, literature, and folk tale. Religion answers basic questions about the meaning of life, support values that group of people feel are important. Religion is often a source of conflict between their culture. Forms of government. So इसकी पहली heading है purpose, to provide for common need of keeping order in a society. Also provide protection from outside threat. Largest form of government is the nation. It has many diverse peoples following a common set of rules. Next element is economic system. How people use limited resources to satisfy their wants and needs. Answer the basic question: what to produce, how to produce it, and for whom. Market economy, buying and selling goods and service. Now I will discuss socialization. What is socialization? Definition of socialization: C.H. Cole, a process through which an individual develops his own self by learning norms, is called socialization. Ogburn, socialization is a process of learning the norms of the group and society. Characteristic of socialization. Following are the characteristics of socialization which are given below. The process of socialization starts from birth and continues till death. Next characteristic is the process of socialization convert human being into a social being. Third is the process of socialization differ from culture to culture and subculture. Fourth point is the socialization process differ from society to society. Fifth point is tool for transmission of culture. Sixth point is healthy growth of personality is possible only due to proper socialization. Seventh point is socialization transmute culture to the next generation. Eighth point is socialization is two-way process. Now, types of socialization. There are two types. The first is authoritarian and the second is egalitarian. The first I will discuss authoritarian. In this type of socialization, parents and teachers are including a child in social world through authoritarian process. If the child do some mistake, punishment is must, and thus he or she adopt good habit, attitude, behavior and manners in society. Next type is egalitarian. Egalitarian in this type of socialization, the peers, classmates, parents, and teachers are inducting him/her in social world through polite manner and advices. Next is elements of socialization. Element First element is physical. By the physical element we mean such qualities and hindrance which a child acquires from the birth. It means what to do and what not to do. These qualities help the child in the process of socialization. The second element is environmental. This element influence the process of socialization of the tradition and manners. These tradition and manners are developed according to the environmental setup. Next element is culture. Culture is the third and important element in which an individual is born. This cultural influence and factors is responsible for the early or slow socialization process. The fourth and the last element of socialization is psychological. One of the major aspects of socialization is psychological development of a child through the mental capabilities of his parents and elders. Now I will discuss the deviance and social control. Deviance uh, is any behavior that violates cultural norm. First is formal deviance and the second is informal deviance. Formal deviance, violation of formally enacted laws. Informal deviance, violation of informal social norms that have not been codified into laws. Characteristic of Pakistani society. First is common language, second is family system, and the third is religious harmony, and fourth is social stratification, responsibilities and duties, and the fifth is male dominated society. If you understand all these notes, so please subscribe, like and comment. Thank you.